Hello, my name's Nutcase and welcome to the review on the Conq GC. Now, this piece of artillery is one of the two of the greatest artillery units in the game, alongside the T92 as well, which I consider to be the best one in the game, but that's personal bias. I play under the tags DPS and under the Tawny Team Phoenix. So let's go and start this review. Now this thing is great at lobbing shells. It's got that small little turret, small little barrel, so it can absolutely get that arc up nice and high over targets and straight down into them, where the armor is at its slightest and where they're behind cover and they think they are safe. It's one of the, I would say, the most feared tanks in the game, and people usually get quite abusive when they see one on an enemy team. So here we get started. So you look at this team, you notice we're quite heavy, so you would think majority of our guys will go between the 3 and the 6 line. So you want to set up and hopefully support them and the people in the middle. And this type of map you got to watch out, because as you can see here, while there's quite a lot of foliage, there's not a lot of hard cover to hide behind. So you got to really try and plan out where you think the enemy team are going to push through. So with their team having a tier 10 medium and a scout, along with a few heavies that could probably possibly do it, you would think that at least one or two of them will be on that 9 line somewhere. So you don't want to push it out too easterly in case you get spotted while you do it. So here we go. And being that there's 3 arty units per side, when you fire, you want to move, and you want to move quick.
Move out!
Because you could say that possibly one of those 3 will be aiming for you, trying to counter arty you. So you always want to move. Even if you think you're safe, you're always better off moving. So as you can see here, I'm trying to position myself, trying to use some of that hard cover to hide behind. And I'm already looking for targets, thinking where those light unit and mediums are going to be. So obviously IS-7 pops up right in the middle, out in the open, great target. So now I'm just waiting for that circle to minimise as much as humanly possible. Now with things like this, the wall, you have to be very careful because it does put your shot off. So I always try and wait until he breaks the wall before firing. It gives you a bit more better accuracy rather than the shot going off or hitting that brick wall instead. So you see, he's broken that wall now, got that clear shot of where I think he's going to be, considering he's trying to get away from the enemy tanks.
Critical
See?
hit!
I fire and I hit him. It's perfect. Couldn't have had it much better. So obviously, see again, I'm moving. You should always do this. I can't emphasize it enough. So this is one of my own little tactics that I use quite a lot. So I'll break things and then reverse up to look like I'm moving to a position that I'm really not. It would really put off those enemy artillery if they're looking for you. And a clear sign would have been if there was an arty shell coming in and landed roughly around here. Then you'd know for sure that they're aiming for you, and you got to be extra precautious. So I'm now looking for a new target, looking at in the area where there's mostly condensed of the enemy team, and to help my heavies push through as quick as possible. Now unfortunately, just those cliff faces just give them that added protection from my arty. Even with that high lob, it's just not going to cut it. I'm having a look around and see what targets I can or can't hit, and notice it's pretty much not going to have a good chance of hitting the target. So I move over to the targets that I can hit. So I'm looking for that 1 or 2 seconds of opportunity against this bat chat. So I wait for the circle to right zone. Unfortunately, the aiming circle is just very slow. I just can't get that shot off. Bat chat's moving too much around. He's on the move now to a different position. So it's not usually that I do this, but every once in a while I'll go for that snapshot in the hope that it pulls off, because a hit would help the team tremendously at this time, especially against a player of this caliber in a tank like this. But as you can see, the shell dropped short and I couldn't do anything about it. So obviously again, reposition. So obviously you can see here now is that our team is pushing through the 0 line and it's helping to surround them and it's pushing them towards the beach. So obviously I'm repositioning again. Having a look to see what I can shoot at. Waiting for that reload and that aim reticle to go somewhere. I'm not going to have much targets of opportunity here just because they're on so much health points. It's not really worth wasting a shell on a target that's less than 80 and has 2 tanks already right in front of him. So I don't want to waste a shell on him. I look for this bat chat, and this is where the Conq GC really has its downfall, is that it does have a limited range, doesn't cover the whole map, and the fact that because of that high arc, at long range you do get that really long aim time and that really long shell time. So obviously it's 4.5 seconds, that is quite a long time. So to hit a target like a bat chat, you're going to have to get pretty lucky with him sitting situational. And seeing here as he's moving down the cliff face, it's just going to become harder and harder, so I decided to go for the 704. And I find the 704 is stationary, not moving, perfect target. Fire, and unfortunately, as soon as he fires, he starts moving.
That was close.
So my shell dropped where he was, unfortunately, because he just moved that instant. And I only splashed him for about 350. Would have been nice to get a hit out of that, but unfortunately it just doesn't work out. So again, I'm moving. Even though the enemy team is under massive amounts of pressure, I move. Because you never know when they're aiming for you. So this is where I get situational awareness and notice that that 1390 hasn't been spotted for quite a while and he was last seen on that beach. So in any good circumstance you would think that he'll be coming up the back to engage in the enemy artillery, which is me and the other two, because we are perfect targets for a 1390. He would love nothing more to run riot in the 3 of us. So I see hard cover, I'm going for it, and I get lucky because as soon as I get behind that hard cover, the E100 pops up right behind me and would have had a snapshot on me if I was 2 seconds later, and it probably would have gotten me. So hopefully good enough that I was able to spot him. Show the enemy team that the enemy E100 is actually behind us and we need help. So now next thought is to try and keep him spotted without dying. So to poke out enough that you get him lit up but without him getting a shot on you. So some of the guys are coming back, which is extremely helpful, and this just turns into trying to figure out how to get away from this E100 by keeping spotted. So here I see that his turret is still focused down the way towards the 704, 103 and RHM. So this is a perfect time to pop out and try to get a snapshot off with his slow turret rotation. So this is where knowing the tanks that you're coming up against really comes in handy. So I try to get that snapshot off. Unfortunately it just grounds itself straight into the ground. But with me keep spotting him, gives the other people that chance to get shots off. And that M3, oh, my apologies, that M53 was able to get that shot off and hit him well. So now that E100 is not sure of either he wants to go for me or go for the enemy tanks in the middle. He's in two different minds. So I just try to bribe him a little bit and try to get behind cover. So he takes a massive hit from the 704, which was a great damaging shot. Takes a snapshot at the M53. He's trying to stay behind cover a bit and get shots on, which never helps. Another great hit from the 704. Now I'm hiding here because I got that 1390 was poking down there, so I didn't want to drive out here to try to get a snapshot on him with that 1390 still driving around down there. He could still easily focus on me. I'm an easy target for him. But fortunately enough, he dies. So with that E100 firing and now backing up and facing his turret towards the other players, I thought it's prime time to drive out and try to get that shot.
Ready to fire. Target unlocked.
Unfortunately, the 704 gets another shot into his side. Lucky enough, this is a great game. Shows what teamwork can do and what Artie can do to help out, especially on a map like this. Obviously, you can use Artie for different roles rather than just the support roles like that, where it shows that you can help spot and hide in support of your team. It's just a matter of changing it up and driving on the fly to keep yourself alive as long as possible and to help the team win. Now that's the biggest problem at the moment with most people who play SPG. They'll go back, sit in K1 or K0, won't move, won't do anything. You've got to adapt to the situation, especially with SPGs. You can still face hug people, especially with this tank where it's got quite a bit of armor. You can still go for people and try to go that long shot. Too many people are afraid of dying or taking a hit that they actually rather lose the match than take a hit. And those types of situations are uncalled for. That should not be happening. You should be looking to win every game, no matter if you die or whatever. If you have to be the one that pushes first into the firing line and get absolutely whacked and die, you have to be that person. It's all about winning. Some people unfortunately just don't get that. They rather that 200 experience and do nothing and still come out alive. I don't get it sometimes. But again, it's just a matter of changing and adapting to the situation and playing the tank to its best ability. But that's all for today. My name's Nutcase, player of DPS and Team Phoenix. I'll see you around.